Did you guys understand what went on in lecture today? Because I really don't know what continuous or discrete variables
No,
are.
I was so confused.
I'm kind of scared for the midterm.
Yeah, not gonna lie.
Alright, let's pump out the study session. Okay, guys, so there's quite a bit of work. I think we should just kind of split it up and talk about it afterwards. Alright, so I think I'm ready to share. You guys cool with sharing now?
Yeah, I think I'm good. Yeah.
Alright, sure. We'll just start with the Zell and then we'll just go down the list after that.
Sure.
So what do you learn, Giselle?
Alright, so I think I know what continuous variables are now. And they basically measure quantitative data. So in other words, they measure values that can range between one number and another, or in other words, we could say like, I'm looking for one value that ranges in between its minimum value or a maximum value. An example I could think of, let's say I'm trying to measure this bottle. I could say, all right, this bottle might range between 0 and like 30 inches. So a continuous variable is gonna be any of those numbers because, or it can be any of those numbers because when I measure it, it could be like 25 or 20 inches. All right, which one is next? Do you get ratio yet?
I tried to understand it, but I'm still not quite sure as to what it means yet.
Yeah, I don't really get it either. I was looking something up. Do you guys get it?
No.
Kind of is. I could try to explain it. Ratio variables, it's kind of like in the name, so like it's like comparison through like ratios. So let's say, for example, like we're talking about how much more food like a college student eats compared to like, I don't know, maybe like a high school student. And then since college students don't really have a lot of money, right? They don't have a lot of money to like eat. So you can say that like a high school student eats like twice as much food than a college student does daily. So it's like the ratio there is that the high school person eats 2 times as many. That's kind of an indicator of what a ratio variable is. So you guys like kind of understand ratio variables now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure. I think the next one was like interval variables or something like that.
Yeah, I don't really understand that one.
Mia was talking about it, and she was explaining it to me in class because I didn't understand it, but she's not here right now, so. No.
Let's call her. I think I have her number. Let me FaceTime her. Why did you have to?
So did you guys understand discrete variable? Because I didn't. So I don't know, are you guys lost on that?
A little bit.
You can totally share with us.
Yeah.
Okay. So from what I understood discrete variable was, it's like basically you can confuse it with continuous variable, but it's just like, cause it still falls under like comparing two different numbers, but instead they're just whole numbers. So and it's not like an infinite amount of numbers between those two numbers. It's just the two whole numbers. So like for example, like the example I understand because I read it on a textbook too. It was like when you roll a dice, you know how you have like 1 through 6.
Mm-hmm.
So the only possibilities you're gonna get are 1 through 6.
Alright, so I think we're almost done, right?
Yeah, we're just missing nominal and ordinal.
Alright, that's me then. Alright, so from what I understand, nominal, the way I remember nominal is like it goes with name, like nominal and name, they both start with an N, right? So it's kind of a name base, and I remember they were talking about how there are variables within the same category but with different names. So let's say like a new UC Merced student wants to find like the best pizza place in town, and so like he could only choose like say like there's Domino's, Pizza Hut, Little Caesars, right? He can only pick one of them. He can't say that the best pizza is like a Domino's, Pizza Hut pizza.
What else can you compare it to?
I compare it to like ordinal. Ordinal is like also similar in the fact that like it's in the same category, right? But and they have different names, but this time like there's like a different weight between the names. So like for example, like if there's like let's say we're testing like an athlete who eats a lot of carbs before a race, and an athlete who doesn't eat a lot of carbs before a race, and then we could like compare their results through ordinal variables, so such as like first, second, or third place. So we could see how their results differed by where they placed.
Did we want to call Mia again, just in case? Because, you know, like, I don't know, like, I know she wasn't picking up, but, like, we still need to know, like, all the terms.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you want to call her again.
For sure.
She's busy.
She might be working. I know she works.
She with a boyfriend.
Probably.
Is she not picking